New details about a deadly altercation in a Northwest home. A man was stabbed when a woman's life was endangered. Pipe progress, but water restrictions continue.
We are not out of the woods yet.
Repairs are done, but concern remains. And warm welcome.
They're usually quite excited to be able to swing outside and on the course.
How people in Lethbridge and Calgary are celebrating the mild January.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Alicia Fieldberg.
Hello and thank you for joining us. Police are on scene of a crash involving a pedestrian who was sent to hospital with serious injuries. Around 7:30 tonight, emergency crews were called to the 100 block of Cityscape Boulevard N.E. Medics took one adult to Foothills Hospital in serious, potentially life-threatening condition. Police say the driver remained at the scene. Police have closed parts of northbound Métis Trail and westbound Cityscape Boulevard while the traffic unit is investigating. The death of a 40-year-old man in Edgemont Friday was an act of self-defense. CTV News has learned a woman in her 30s who was showing a rental was attacked by a man who came to view it. She fought him off and the man died from his injuries. On Friday, she was showing the man a rental home on Edgemont Court Northwest. It was his second viewing of the basement suite. While inside, he attacked her. She fought him off and eventually stabbed him in self-defense. The man died from his wounds at the scene. She was taken to hospital with serious injuries but has been released. Police are expected to release more details tomorrow following the autopsy. A 52-year-old woman has been charged with second-degree murder in the death of her mother. The body of 83-year-old Sharon Helene Roberts was found in her Canyon Meadows townhouse Thursday morning. Investigators believe her death was caused by domestic violence. The victim's daughter, 52-year-old Tanya Maurice, was arrested Friday. She will be in court tomorrow. Police say they're not looking for any other suspects. Firefighters responded to a small explosion at a homeless encampment near the city core tonight. Around 6:30, Calgary Fire Department responded to Earl Grey Crescent. They found flames in a wooded area just below the street. Crews had to run hoses through the trees to put out the fire. Nobody was hurt. Calgary's latest water main break could soon be fixed. Officials warn there is still a threat of another rupture. As Jordan Canagan reports, this is a critical point in the project.
The hole where Calgary's latest water main break happened is closed up, but it's what's underneath that's still making officials nervous.
We are not out of the woods yet. As we refill this pipe and bring it back up to pressure, there is still a real chance that we could see another break.
A steel pipe is in place where the old one failed. They're now refeeding the main with 22 million liters of water and taking samples to check when it's safe to drink again.
Increasing water flow through the pipe comes with risk. Once the pipe is returned to service, we will begin the process of easing out of water conservation.
But those water restrictions may remain if another rupture happens soon, and they'll be back regardless in the spring and fall. That's when more water upgrades will happen. Council will also consider recommendations from an independent panel that found 20 years of neglect in the city's water system.
There's no such thing as moving too quickly on getting Calgary's water supply back to safety and reliability. We've known that this is a ticking time bomb underneath our streets.
But some councillors believe they are being rushed by the panel. The Ward 2 councillors saying the $2 million independent report equated to an AI summary.
This council is being pressured, and that's a political pressure move on this council to say yes without doing our due diligence.
The panel chair disputing that, saying Calgary's failing water infrastructure needs updating fast.
We were not in any way trying to, I'm going to say, pressure council into considering things outside of the normal time that it takes to do things in a well-measured way.
Jordan Canagan, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, officials say Calgarians still need to do more to reduce water use until the line is fully up and running again. There's still no firm timeline of when restrictions will ease. Officials say it will be days of testing to make sure the water quality is safe and that there are no more major breaks along the line. Pap tests have long been the standard approach to identifying cervical cancer in women, but today the province announced screening for human papillomavirus infection will eventually eliminate routine paps here in Alberta. HPV is a common infection spread through sexual contact. The province says cervical cancer is almost always caused by subtypes of HPV. It says scientific evidence shows HPV testing is the most effective way to identify cervical cancer. Women won't notice much of a change since they still need to go to the doctor to have a sample collected. The HPV test, however, is only recommended once every 5 years instead of once every 3 years. And eventually, self-testing will be an option.
Self-sampling allows our patients to collect the sample by themselves, either in the health provider's office or even at home, to be then mailed back or delivered back to the lab for further testing. So with that, yeah, I think it allows increased access to testing.
The test is already being offered to people aged 50 to 69. Planning to expand the test to 20 to 49-year-olds is underway. Once that happens, routine PAPs will no longer be offered. Many Albertans are starting the new year with a heavy dose of financial anxiety, but one expert says that pessimism might not be warranted. Jacqueline Wilson reports.
Albertans are bracing for a challenging year, according to the latest MNP Consumer Debt Index.
It is feeling a bit pessimistic as far as what our stats were showing, and it's really about feelings versus perhaps reality. But our folks that we're communicating with, they are feeling pretty stressed about where their budgets are.
3/4 of those surveyed expect their cost of living to worsen, with concerns over the economy, interest rates, and inflation being top of mind.
I'm keeping a close eye on how tariffs are going and how it's developing.
Those in downtown Calgary had mixed feelings about their finances.
I had less debt from last year, so I'm sitting pretty good right now. I'm on age. I don't get enough money to buy enough food, so I have to go to food bank and stuff like that.
There is a silver lining in the new data. The average Albertan has about $1,100 left over after paying monthly bills. And the proportion of people who say that they are within $200 of not being able to pay their bills each month has fallen to 38%. That's down 12 points from last quarter and the lowest level measured in the post-pandemic period.
I think there really is a cause for optimism here in Alberta, especially because looking back at October, Albertans were terribly worried. They had the lowest rate of emergency savings. Now, coming into this new year, we've got huge uptick.
But that's not the case for everyone.
No savings. I'm in debt, which is very bad.
I'm trying to save more money this year, because last year I didn't save much.
Landry suggests reaching out to a professional if the financial burden becomes too much, setting yourself up for a prosperous 2026 and beyond. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
The data was compiled by Ipsos between November 28th and December 1st. Over 2,000 Canadians aged 18 and over were interviewed. The poll is accurate within 2.7 percentage points, 19 times out of 20. Well, strong Chinook winds are making January quite warm and dry for southern Alberta, and people are taking advantage by squeezing in some unseasonable activities. Quinn Keenan reports.
Strong wind and warm weather have taken care of most of the snow left on the ground in Lethbridge. The city is no stranger to winter Chinooks, but systems this powerful are unusual.
It's looking like the next few days we could see temperatures, daytime highs looking 15 to 20 degrees above normal for a lot of places.
The warm weather will have some people headed outside to take advantage of the opportunity. Evergreen Golf Center's course and driving range are both open. Golfers will have the rare chance to hit the links in January in southern Alberta.
When we get customers coming in and they find out that we're open, they're usually quite excited to be able to swing outside and on the course. So that's always a plus for those customers coming in. We do have a year-round driving range as well.
Homeowners will also have the chance to do some wintertime checks and maintenance. Warm weather will highlight any leaks, and high winds will expose any draft. It's even a chance to get some gardening done.
If it gets warm, as in above 10 degrees, it's also a chance to do some deep watering for your trees and shrubs. We haven't had much moisture yet this winter, and so those plants will really look forward to that extra moisture.
Lethbridge may see more typical winter weather return next week, but before then, some new heat records could be set. The all-time high in January for Lethbridge was 20 degrees, set in 2015.
The forecast right now, we have a high of 19 for Wednesday, so it's possible that there could be an all-time record set for Lethbridge on Wednesday.
Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Well, Danielle, it's great to see people golfing, but not so great for people who are hoping to go skating outdoors.
Right. So, yeah, stay away from lakes and rivers. And think more springtime ideas. Golf for one, barbecuing for another, patios. And if you haven't taken down your Christmas decorations, this might be the time to do that. Enjoy the outdoors, basically. All right, 5 degrees in the morning hours and 9 is a daytime high. So we won't be quite as warm tomorrow because the winds will not be as strong out of the west. We're looking at gusts around 30 kilometers per hour. This comes with a mix of sun and cloud. It gets much warmer by Wednesday. I'll show you that just ahead.
Thanks, Danielle. Some Calgarians are fearing for their loved ones in Iran. Hundreds of people have died and thousands more detained amid protests against the government.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
Calgarians with loved ones in Iran are concerned as the death toll in that country continues to rise. Protesters are rallying against the Islamic regime over equity, repression, and economic collapse, and hundreds have died. Tyson Fedor reports.
Calgarian Amir Salami is worried for family in Iran.
Essentially for the last 4 or 5 days, we've had no communication with their families, no ability to see what the actual events are transpiring on the streets.
5 days without internet and power that was shut off by the regime last week.
Anytime that there is revolt, anytime people are standing up for basic human rights, they're being met with bullets and with essentially a paramilitary.
Salami immigrated to Canada from Iran with his parents in 2004. He says he, along with hundreds of others, have protested the Iranian regime because of long-standing grievances and a weak economy. Salami's unsure if his family and friends are safe following the deaths of hundreds of citizens, including children.
The stress is an all-time high. We can't maintain any sort of communication. And it's stressful because the videos that are coming out, they're showing regular people who are on their way to their houses or back, maybe just a day-to-day task, and they're being shot at by AK-47s.
This is video of families identifying the victims. Thousands have also been detained. The Iranian government says dozens of its security personnel have also died. U.S. President Donald Trump says Iran is open to negotiating.
We're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options.
But experts say this is a situation that needs to be finessed.
There's nobody who the Americans can really talk to like that or have some form of sympathy or have this sort of approach that they're willing to, at least at face value, keep talking about Maduro.
In Calgary on Sunday, protesters say they just want an end to the regime.
As much as these people are upset, right now they have a fiery passion in them. That fiery passion is what is fueling them. We are hopeful for a regime change.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
And Iranian authorities are accusing both Israel and the U.S. of having a direct role in the political unrest. The White House says what the Iranian government is saying publicly is vastly different from what it is telling the Trump administration privately. And one person suffered critical injuries in a two-vehicle crash along 17th Avenue Southeast. It happened just after 3 Sunday afternoon between 100th Street and Garden Road Southeast. Police say an eastbound vehicle attempted to pass the slower vehicle in front and went into oncoming traffic.
The first vehicle was able to avoid the passing vehicle, but the one behind that vehicle ended up colliding head-on with the vehicle that was in oncoming traffic. The driver of the vehicle that was making the pass has been transported to hospital in critical condition.
The driver of the other vehicle had minor injuries and was taken to hospital as a precaution. One person is dead and another seriously injured after a two-vehicle collision on Deerfoot Trail. It happened just before 11 Saturday night when police say a Nissan Altima heading north on Deerfoot when it hit a construction median near Glenmore Trail. Now, the man driving the vehicle died. The Nissan's engine was ejected upon impact and struck a RAV4 in the next lane, injuring that driver. Police are investigating whether speed, alcohol, or drugs are factors in the Nissan's driver crashing. A Calgary man faces charges after a Crow's Nest Pass RCMP officer was allegedly assaulted during a traffic stop. Officers got a report about an erratic driver on Highway 22 south of Highway 520. They pulled over a vehicle, smelled alcohol, and attempted to arrest the driver, who tried to run away. A police dog stopped him, giving him non-life-threatening injuries. 58-year-old Robert Valane Edwards faces several charges. Some Albertans are now collecting signatures for a province-wide petition to hold a referendum on public education funding.
No matter what kind of family they're from, how much their family makes in a year, education is important and it should be available to all.
Support Our Students Alberta held town hall meetings across the province this weekend. They discussed classroom challenges in the months since the provincial government used the notwithstanding clause in October to end the teachers' strike. The petition asks whether taxpayer money should continue going to private schools.
But we know that public education is in a crisis in this province, and so community members, parents, teachers, everybody still needs to be as loud as they were during the teachers' strike through the next couple of months, especially as we get to budget 2026, to make sure that we are funding our schools appropriately.
So far, Support Our Students Alberta has collected 50,000 signatures. They need to collect 177,000 by February 11th for the petition to be considered. As a petition asking if Alberta should leave Canada begins to circulate, Southern Alberta's Blood Tribe issued a statement saying it opposes that effort. It reads in part, Alberta independence would contravene the numbered treaties both as a matter of law and as a practical reality by proposing to remove Canada and substitute an independent Alberta as the party responsible for fulfilling treaty obligations. And that the Blood Tribe stands with other treaty nations in firm opposition to this petition, and Alberta cannot even ask a separation question without our consent. The Alberta Prosperity Project's petition asks, do you agree that the province of Alberta shall become a sovereign country and cease to be a province in Canada? They began collecting signatures last week and say the goal is to collect at least as many signatures as the Forever Canadian petition, which more than 450,000 Albertans signed. Calgarians were out embracing the mild weather today. A couple of restaurants along 17th Avenue opened up their patios, and most pathways are clear of ice due to the melt. That is a welcome sight for runners and walkers.
I think it's a wonderful day for a walk in the sunshine. I think it's great. It's better than minus 25.
Today I wore my cleats. There isn't any ice. It's all melting. It's beautiful.
I love it. I mean, I'm a runner, and not having to run on a treadmill is amazing.
Now, with warm weather continuing most of the week and lows above zero, expect that ice to keep melting. Well, that's not good news for a winter attraction in Edmonton. The Ice Castles exhibit is closed until at least Friday. Staff say the melt is not the safest experience for guests. Organizers hope to reopen next week or when temperatures cool down again. Well, it's been a warm and windy night, and expect more positive temperatures this week. Danielle's forecast is up next.
Well, that was a warm day in southern Alberta. Many communities got into the double digits, but of course it comes at a bit of a price when we get this type of warmth at this time of year on the lee side of the Rockies. And that's the wind, of course. 109 km/h gusts. That happened today. That was the max gust in Pincher Creek, and just over 90 in Lethbridge, and even Medicine Hat. That's 85 km/h, is a very strong gust for the Medicine Hat area. So very windy in the far south, a little more reasonable, closer to that 50 mark for Calgary and Brooks, 40s, Drumheller, Red Deer over through Banff and Cranbrook. The winds will be tamer tomorrow, so temperatures will not be able to get quite as warm. They'll still be warm, but not quite as warm tomorrow because the winds will be calmer out of the west. So 30-kilometer-per-hour gusts in through Medicine Hat, Brooks, Drumheller and Calgary, and still gusty Pincher Creek over to Lethbridge for these areas, 60 to 70 kilometer-per-hour gusts, but that's a lot more reasonable than what we had today. All right, here's a look at daytime highs. 11 degrees is the high in Calgary today. Vancouver, Victoria. This is where all the warmth is when you compare it to the rest of the country. As you see here, many places close to that freezing mark out east. All right, radar and satellite, we had a little bit of mixed precipitation move its way down the mountains. And for the next 24 hours, there is the potential for a little bit of mixed precipitation near the Banff area. Outside of that, it's really just some cloudy periods at times. I'm going to play this through for the next couple of days, and there's really not a whole lot to talk about. So wind will be an issue on and off, especially by Wednesday once again, when we are likely to get record-breaking heat in the city. But outside of the wind, just some cloudy periods at times going through these next few days, and temperatures will remain warm. Here's a look at the longer-range forecast. 9 degrees for tomorrow with gusts around 30 kilometers per hour. Then the winds will pick up again out of the west. 50 kilometer-per-hour gusts are possible. That should carry us up to 15 degrees. That certainly, if we get to 15, that is record-breaking heat for the city. All right, 5 degrees for Thursday, 6 for Friday, 9 for Saturday. So still a lot of warmth as we head through the rest of this week. Let me show you the 10-day trend to give you an idea. But because really from today all the way until Tuesday of next week, we'll hold on to a lot of warmth and be well above that freezing mark. Wednesday of next week is when we'll likely dip for our daytime high just below freezing.
Thanks, Danielle. With less than a month until the Milano Cortina Games, we're hearing more about the Canadians involved. Up next, a Calgary man's skills with ice already have him making Olympic history.
It's so fun to see how quick you guys are growing because you're a big girl now.
Now that's Calgary Flames defenseman Rasmus Anderson, along with Noah, the daughter of former Flames player Johnny Gaudreau, who died in 2024. Now the 3-year-old was a bit camera shy, but did indicate that she refers to Anderson as Uncle Razzie and gave him 2 lollipops during her visit. Anderson says seeing Johnny's family again is a pleasure. The 2026 Winter Olympics don't start until next month, but a Calgarian has already made history for the Games. Now, this is video from one of our previous stories with ice master Mark Messer. He's been working at Calgary's Olympic Oval since 1987 and has contributed to 6 previous Olympics already. Now, this time he was brought to Italy and has created the Games' first indoor temporary speed skating rink. He has been working on the ice since October in the city of Rho, just north of Milan. The 2026 Olympics run February 6th to the 22nd. And Rory Linkletter is the first Canadian to run a half marathon in under an hour. It took him 59 minutes, 49 seconds to complete the more than 21 kilometers for the Houston Half Marathon. The Calgary-born athlete now lives and trains in Arizona. Thanks for staying up late with us.